Good evening and welcome to the May 13th, 2026 meeting of the Lockport Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you would all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to all who are here, and I would ask for roll call. Kathy.
You got it. Quinn.
Here.
Calderon is absent. Peters.
Here.
Likens.
Here.
Mychek.
Here.
O'Hare.
Here.
Giorgetti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Kathy. And welcome to our new commissioner, Matt O'Hare. Glad you're part of this. And when we get down to the commissioner's report, we will give you the floor and you can give us our background, your background. With that, we'll move to approval of the minutes. Are there any comments on the minutes first?
I have one. Potentially a correction on page 4. It says nomination to be chairman for me. I don't think you want me as chairman yet. Probably want to change that to councilman.
Wow, this guy is
Is that
really
a test?
good.
Were you guys just testing? Make sure I was reading the minutes.
Kathy, do you have that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. With that, is there a motion to approve the minutes with that correction under the staff report, item 1?
I'll make
set
that
forth
motion.
Since I made the correction.
Motion by O'Hare. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. All right, we will move to public hearings, and we're going to take the fourth item on our agenda, case number 2026-008, and move it up front. And we are going to open this public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open it.
Motion by Giorgetti. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Peters. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, public hearing is open. As I understand, based on timing of some notifications, we are going to consider continuing this case to our June meeting. So I would ask if there is a motion to continue this to the June Lockport meeting, or Lockport Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, that is June 10th.
Scott, I'll make that motion to
Mo-
continuance.
Motion by Giorgetti. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by O'Hare. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. With that, we will move to case 26001. It is a variance to reduce a corner side yard from 25 feet to 7 feet for the property located at 1438 South State. As a public hearing, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by Quinn. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mychek. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is open. Staff.
Yes, so as Mr. Chairman had said, this is a variance to reduce the corner side yard from 25 feet to 7 feet for the property located at 1438 South State. The applicant and the property owner, Nereus Sopronos, is seeking a variance from the zoning ordinance, section 156, 073 bulk regulations to reduce a corner side yard from 25 feet to 7 feet for a property zoned heritage residential. I would like to make a note that the original posting and advertisement for this public hearing had said it would be a reduction from 25 feet to 14 feet. There is a unique condition on this property though, and typically in our heritage residential district, we have a property line that starts 1 foot off the sidewalk. For this property at 1438 State, the property line starts 8 feet off the sidewalk. So the variance we're requesting is then 7 feet instead of 14 feet. However, the overall distance from the house to that typical 1 foot off the sidewalk distance is 14 feet. And Heritage Residential, the district typically has an 8-foot wide right-of-way. So therefore, the reduction in the corner side yard distance for this property is not believed to be an issue as it relates to visibility around corners and driveways. So I just wanted to mention that is a change from that original posting. And we went over the location. The parcel size is about 66,400 square feet. It's zoned Heritage Residential. It's currently a vacant property, and the variance is to reduce the corner side yard. Current zoning, it's Heritage Residential. To the north and east, we also have Heritage Residential, and to the south and west is C2 Community Commercial. This is the site plan. In the purple is the proposed residence and the garage in the rear of the property. The house is set back about 30 feet from State Street. The interior side yard is 7 feet. We only require a minimum of 6 feet. And then you can see there's the 7 feet between the sidewalk and the property line. And then there's 7 feet from the beginning of the property line to the house. So that's where we're requesting that corner side yard variance. Typically it would be 25 feet required. This property is only 40 feet wide. So if you had your 6-foot minimum interior side yard and your 25-foot corner side yard, you would have 9 feet to build a house. So that is part of the reason the variance is being requested. And then we'll go through the elevations. This is the south elevation. This is what you would see along 15th Street. This is the north elevation. This will be what you see south of the house that is being built next door to it. This is the east elevation. This will be the rear of the house. And the west elevation, this will be facing State Street. For the findings of fact, we will start with the first one. The property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations of the district in which it is located. Staff finds that the property could not yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the district regulations. The 40-foot lot width is challenging to accommodate because it is a corner lot, therefore requiring a 25-foot setback. With a 25-foot corner side yard setback and a 6-foot interior side setback, the building would have a maximum width of 9 feet. For the second findings of fact, the proposed variation will property that is 40 feet wide. So he's been moving through that, no variances or anything needed there. And again, the demonstrable hardship is that this is the corner lot, so it has different requirements for the corner side yard. The alleged hardship has not been directly created by any person presently having a proprietary interest in the premises. This hardship was created when the property was originally platted. The proposed variation will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other property or improvements in the neighborhood. The proposed variation will not be material detrimental to the public welfare. Lines of sight at the corner of South State Street and 15th Streets will not be negatively impacted with the construction of this house. As I had mentioned previously, the right-of-way for our Heritage Residential District is very wide, and the property lines for this house start about 7 feet off the sidewalk that's currently existing. The next findings of fact, the proposed variation will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property, substantially increase congestion in the public streets, increase the danger of fire, or endanger the public safety. For this proposed variation, there will not be any impairment to public safety. There will be an additional parkway buffer between the road and the property line because of that 80-foot right-of-way. The interior side yard, front yard, and rear yard setbacks exceed the minimum requirements for R0 zoning. Additionally, the rear-loaded garage will allow future residents to access the home from 5th Street, and this will eliminate the need for any additional curb cuts along South State Street. Next, the proposed variation will not alter the essential character of the locality. This proposed variance will not alter the character of the neighborhood. A new home of quality design will be constructed on a vacant parcel within the city. The new home will promote infill development and help meet the demand for additional housing units. Next, the proposed variation is in harmony with the spirit and intent of this chapter. The property will maintain its heritage residential zoning, which aligns with the zoning of surrounding properties. And the recommended motion, should the commission find that the request for the variance acceptable, the following motion is suggested. A motion to adopt findings of fact and approve the corner side yard setback variance for a single-family home in the RO Heritage Residential District from 25 feet to 7 feet.
Thank you, Alyssa. Is the applicant here? Does they wish to say anything further, or is everything covered by staff's report? If you'd like to add anything, please come to the podium. If not, okay. Thank you. Commissioners, any discussion, questions on this case?
Lance, the only question I have is because of the change of the side setback, how would that impact if the future resident would want to put up like a fence or anything else along those lines?
So the fence would have to go on the property line. So the property line is about 8 foot off the sidewalk, where we typically find, like Alyssa said, that the property line is about 1 foot off of the back of sidewalk. In this case, for whatever reason, we're not really sure, it is 8 foot off the back of the sidewalk, so a fence would need to align with that 8 foot off the back of the sidewalk.
Okay, and that wouldn't require anything from us to approve. That would be by right then and fall within our code?
Yep.
Okay, and yeah, that would still be, by being 8 feet off, even with traffic and everything else, that wouldn't hinder, similar to what we've done in the past. Okay, thank you. That's the only question I had. I walk or drive by this every single day, and I think it's a good fit. Fits with R0. You know, we probably wouldn't approve a lot like this in a new subdivision, but I think for where it's located, I think it would add to the character. The only other thing I had was in point E of the finding of fact, it said 80-foot right-of-way. Should that be 8, change to 8 feet, or does it mean 80, like including the entire road?
It's 80 feet of
Okay.
right-of-way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Typicals in the newer areas of town are 60 or 66, but in the entire Heritage Residential District, when Lockport was originally platted in the 1830s, all of our downtown streets are 80-foot right-of-way, except for State Street, which is 100.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And it's like center line of the road, 40 feet each way?
Typically, yes.
Where that usually sits.
Again, why this is either off-center or not, the way that we would typically do it, it appears like the sidewalk is in the standard place for most of our 80-foot right-of-ways. We do have some sidewalks that are closer to the street curb, which in that case, the 1 foot off wouldn't be the typical condition. But in this case, it is in the relatively normal condition. So why it's offset like this, we don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to ask George or Gooding and William Gooding and a bunch of other people back in 1830.
Anybody else good? Okay. I would ask if there's anyone from the public that would like to speak to this case. Seeing none, is there a motion to close this public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mechek. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Quinn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And just a reminder, Mr. Chairman, that a variation is, the Planning and Zoning Commission is the final decision point for a variation. It does not go on to City Council.
Okay. Any further discussion, commissioners? Okay, hearing none, call to question. Is there a motion to adopt the findings of fact and approve the corner side yard setback variance for a single-family home in the R0 Heritage Residential Zoning District from 25 feet to 7 feet?
I'll move the motion.
Motion by O'Hare. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Giorgetti. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Kathy?
You got it. Quinn.
Yes.
Calderon is absent. Peters.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes?
Mychuk.
Yes.
O'Hare.
Yes.
Giorgetti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Kathy.
Mr. Chairman, we'd also ask that this next case go down to new business. It's not a public hearing, so it should be under new business.
Yes, sir. 26006 will go to new business. Which moves us to case 2026-007, special use permit for a resale shop at 123 East 9th Street. This is a public hearing, so do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by Quinn, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Peters, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, public hearing is open. Melissa?
Yeah, so for this case, Karen Haran, on behalf of Thrift Tea, has submitted a special use permit application for a thrift store to be located at 123 East 9th Street. The parcel size is plus or minus 3,800 square feet. The applicant will be renting a unit on the first floor. It'll be a commercial space. The current zoning is C4 downtown commercial. The property has multiple units in it, and they are commercial units. And the request will be a special use permit for a resale shop. Current zoning, we have that C4 downtown commercial district, and it is surrounded by properties of the same zoning. For this, I'll just give a brief overview. They don't have like a site plan or anything. So Thrift Tea is a resale shop. All proceeds from their store go to cover or partially cover, fully cover mental health services to others in the community who may not be able to afford them or access them due to financial constraints. For donations, the applicants and their staff at the store will arrange all donations. They will arrange pickup or delivery, so no donations can be dropped off just at a random time. And any additional storage needs that they would have at the store would be accommodated in the basement of the building. They have storage down there for use. So overall, this won't be something where people are driving in and out. Everything will be prearranged. Donations will be approved and evaluated before they are also for sale. And now I can get into the standards for special uses. The proposed building or use at the particular location requested is necessary or desirable to provide a service or a facility in the public interest and will contribute to the general welfare of the neighborhood or the community. The benefit to the community for this thrift store would be using revenue to subsidize payments of mental health care for those who cannot otherwise access it due to cost. And the store will provide residents and visitors access to quality, gently used items at lower prices. The next standard for a special use, the proposed building or use will not have a substantial adverse effect upon the adjacent property, the character of the neighborhood, traffic conditions, utility facilities, and other matters affecting the public health, safety, and general welfare. Thrift Tea will operate in the same manner as any other retail shop in the downtown district. All donations will be prearranged, therefore not contributing to additional traffic for donation drop-offs. Next, the proposed building or use will be designed, arranged, and operated so as to permit the development and the use of neighboring property in accordance with the applicable district regulations. Thrift Tea will operate entirely within their leased space. Additional storage space in the basement of the building is available, and neighboring properties will not be limited in use by having a resale store in the vicinity. And now we are at our recommended motion. Should the commission find that the special use permit for the proposed resale shop at 123 East 9th Street acceptable, the following motion is suggested. A motion to adopt the findings of fact and recommend approval to the City Council of the special use permit for a resale shop at 123 East 9th Street.
Thank you, Alyssa. Is the applicant here? Would they like to contribute here? Thank you.
Hi, yes, I'm Karen Horan. Yeah.
Go, if,
Okay, yes, so Thrift Tea is a not-for-profit that we opened because I am a licensed clinical mental health practitioner. And what I've come to find over the years in my business is there are so many people who can't access quality mental health care due to the insurance companies and how they limit those services because they're quite different than medical. I have to make money, they tell me, because I have to pay bills. But I don't want to make people who are in a really bad place have to worry about that if they need the help and services that they need. And there are people that get put into situations that would not like to be in that particular position, to not be able to afford mental health care or to not have the insurance be able to afford that, and I take that away. So basically everything that happens in the sale of the shop goes to the board. We are board run, it's a non-for-profit, and the board decides how many people I can see for free. And then they tell me this is how many people I got each month that I see for free, and we pay all of their expenses for that. This is our second location. We were in Elwood, but it was just they were selling our property. So we moved here. I was originally based in New Lenox. I wanted to stay close to my clientele. So we're hoping that this is a great fit. I love Lockport and really want to come and be a part of your community and help everybody.
thank
Do
you,
you have
Karen.
any questions for me?
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Karen?
No questions. I just think it's a fantastic idea. I like how you kind of blended it, so, yeah, full support.
Are you open every day of the week or weekends, or what does your store hours look like?
So the store hours are going to be Tuesday through Saturday and normal business hours. Yeah.
Karen, I would ask, how did your prearranged drop-offs go at your prior location? Because I know thrift stores, once the public knows that they can bring you gently used goods, tend to sometimes end up on the front or back doorstep. How did that
Well,
go?
we're very good about communicating how we do things, and since this isn't the first time that we've done that, because we also didn't have a donation place at our last, and it was a standalone building, and I still wouldn't let people put anything outside, is that it's important, because we're not Goodwill, right? So like, we don't take a lot of clothing. We do have clothing, but it's designer clothing. All of our, let's say, materials, like our cabinets or anything like that, everything is solid wood, right? So we have to evaluate it before we can take it anyway, just because there's a price point there, and this shop isn't very big. So I can't always take, somebody's got a whole estate sale, and I can't always take a whole estate sale for them, so we have to go and evaluate what it is prior to us taking it.
Okay.
Now, if somebody wanted to bring me in a little bag of something, that's something different. But like, as far as a house or anything like that, an estate sale or anything, because that's what we do a lot of, is we help people that have passed or are moving with the clean out, because a lot of places charge for that, and we do it for free. So
Okay.
we also partner with a non-for-profit that helps all of the seniors in Lockport, and she provides free services. So we're definitely getting to know our neighbors and making sure that we're all helping each other.
Okay. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Commissioners, if you don't have any other questions for staff or Karen, I'm going to open it up to the public. Would anyone else from the public like to comment on this case? Please come forward. Seeing none, I think I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Giorgetti. Is there a second?
Second that.
Second by O'Hare. Mechek, sorry. Second by Mechek. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes, thank you. Okay. Commissioners, is there any other discussion on this case?
That's pretty straightforward.
Sounds good? Okay. Well, I would call to question and ask if there's a motion to adopt the findings of fact and to recommend the approval to the City Council of the special use permit for a resale shop at 123 East 9th Street as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Quinn. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mechek. Roll call vote.
You
Kathy?
got it. Quinn.
Yes.
Calderon is absent. Peters.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes?
Mycheck.
Yes.
O'Hare.
Yes.
And Georgetti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Kathy. And this will go to Committee of the Whole on? June 3rd. Thank you. We'll know it for the next one. Okay. Let's see here. We are now on case number 2026-009, special use permit for a liquor store located 1059 East 9th Street. As a public hearing, I would ask for a motion to open public hearing.
I'll make that motion to open the public hearing.
Motion by Peters. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Quinn. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes and the public hearing is open. Back to staff.
Yeah, so we have Josh Brody here with Birchwood Law LLC. He has submitted an application for a special use permit for a liquor store on behalf of Grishu OHM LLC, and they are doing business as Lockport Liquor. The property is located at 1059 East 9th Street. A little background on the sites. Again, the location is 1059 East 9th. The entire parcel is under an acre. It's currently zoned C2, and the property is used for commercial uses. And the request today is a special use permit for a liquor store. Current zoning, that's C2 community commercial. We have R4 below it, and we have slightly to the southeast R1 single family residential. And then to the north and the west is that same C2. And then I will give a little bit of more information on this case as well. So the location is within the Regency Point Shopping Center. There are 15 other businesses in the shopping center. So there's plenty of parking. It's well established as a retail place. The applicant has already received their liquor license from the city, so they are approved for that. The next step is coming to us to get a special use permit to operate the liquor store. The liquor store will sell packaged goods. There will be no consumption on site, and the applicant places strong emphasis on public safety and regulatory compliance. The applicant will comply with all city, state, and federal laws governing the sale, purchase, and distribution of alcoholic beverages. They have security cameras on site. There will be 2 to 4 employees there at any given time, and they will operate, I forget all the hours they'll operate, but they will operate into the evenings, and again, it will be a well-lit area, and there will be security cameras. And now for our standards for special uses. The proposed building or use at the particular location requested is necessary or desirable to provide a service or facility in the public interest and will contribute to the general welfare of the neighborhood or community. The city has a few dedicated liquor stores, so having a location further east provides a different segment of the city that will be able to access these goods. The proposed building or use will not have a substantial adverse effect upon the adjacent property, the character of the neighborhood, traffic conditions, utility facilities, and other matters affecting the public health, safety, and general welfare. This proposed liquor store will not have a substantial adverse effect. The business will operate within the Regency Point Shopping Center, and that is a commercial district. To promote safety, the business will comply with all applicable city, state, and federal laws governing the sale, purchase, and distribution of alcoholic beverages. The premises will be equipped with a 24-hour security camera and alarm system. Last, the proposed building or use will be designed, arranged, and operated so as to permit the development and the use of neighboring property in accordance with applicable district regulations. The proposed liquor store will be operated in such a way that neighboring properties will not experience adverse effects. Again, the neighboring properties are also commercial retail stores. And with that, we have our recommended motion. Should the commission find that the special use permit for a liquor store at 1059 East 9th Street acceptable, the following motion is suggested. A motion to adopt the findings of fact and recommend approval of the special use permit for a liquor store located at 1059 East 9th Street to the City Council.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
May I add in a little bit of information to kind of buttress what the staff report has indicated? As Alyssa mentioned, there is an ancillary proceeding before the liquor commissioner, which is the mayor. The mayor and I met with this applicant. At the time, as Alyssa mentioned, there are very few dedicated liquor stores, and one of the reasons for that is that the city council caps the number of liquor licenses available within the city. This particular applicant was so interested in putting a store here on 9th Street that he purchased another liquor store, not the license, but purchased another liquor store that was problematic for the city on South State Street. So we are now moving it to this location that he's applying for, and it appears to be a much better fit to the zoning district and neighborhood where it's going, as opposed to the other liquor store that closed down as a result of that purchase. So that was all one of the things that the staff and the mayor and I looked at when we were looking at the liquor license application. It's ancillary to what you're doing, but it does kind of support what the staff report finds about the nature of the district and the neighborhood that this application is hoping to go into.
So in totality, we're not adding more liquor licenses. This is more or less movement of one location to another.
There was another store that was in violation of our code in several aspects, and the mayor and I were discussing whether we wanted to take action against it, and this applicant came to us right at that time offering to buy that store so that he could move it to the location on 9th Street that's before you today.
Okay.
And it's a different owner than the one that is on
Correct.
State Street.
Okay. Thank you for that background.
Sure.
Would the applicant like to add anything further?
Yes, we have.
Go ahead, state your name at the podium.
My name is Josh Browdy. I represent the applicant, Grishu OHM LLC. I have a PowerPoint. I have slides. May I pass them around?
Sure.
And I'm going to move through this pretty quickly, as there's 12 slides, but given how thorough the staff was and the city attorney, a lot of the information was covered. And I really just want to touch on the safety and compliance aspect, which is slide 9 and 10. No, you're good. Take your time. Regulatory compliance. So, as the city attorney mentioned, the applicant has already secured a packaged good license. There's only 3 of them. The next step from here is obviously to get approval from this body, and then to get approval from the city council. Then the applicant will get ready to open. Prior to opening, the applicant will then get their Illinois liquor license and get dram shop insurance. They will not open without that, and then any other state, federal, local laws they will be in compliance of, and we want to be very clear about that. Next slide. In terms of what compliance looks like, there is IDs will be scanned using a electronic machine and will also be verified manually. Sometimes fakes can scan, and you need to make sure that there's a double check on that to make sure that no one under the age is buying alcohol. And then also, all employees will go through Bassett training. That is specific training for people, both that work in, anybody that sells alcohol needs to go through this state of Illinois training. So everybody will be Bassett trained. There will be a manager or supervisor on site at all times, once again, to make sure that everyone is complying. And then interior and exterior security cameras and alarm system will be installed along with coordination with all emergency services as needed. Hopefully there will not be any need for it, but it does go without saying that we will be coordinating if it is needed. Those were the points I wanted to make sure that we hit and we make sure that we cover. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding this location.
Thank you, Josh. Commissioners, do you have any questions concerning this case for Josh or staff or council?
Only thing I have, Lance, is, and this license wouldn't preclude if there were ever to be like a restaurant in the plaza that wanted to serve on-site consumption, so.
It's a different
yeah.
license.
So that's the only thing, I just wanted to confirm that, but.
We have like 9 or 10 different categories of liquor licenses that serve all different kind of parsing of food, no food, liquor, event, all kinds of stuff.
There are some lease restrictions on, competing with other tenants. For example, the applicant had talked to me about, he said, well, don't have to worry about me selling vapes or anything, because there's already a vape store in that mall or a store that sells those. So there are some lease restrictions, but as far as the license restriction you're talking about, now, what would happen if there wasn't an open license for that, it was a restaurant that wanted to come in, the city's always looking for more sit-down restaurants. Typically, the mayor would then ask me to put something on the council agenda to ask the council to add another available license, lift the cap, in other words.
Well, I appreciate the background because when I first read through it, I was a little skeptical. So, thank you for that. Josh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Commissioners, if you don't have any other direct questions for staff or Josh or council, I will open this up to the public and ask if there's anyone from the public who would like to speak to this case. Hearing, seeing none, I would ask if there's a motion to close this public hearing.
So move.
Motion by O'Hare, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Peters, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, public hearing is closed. Commissioners, any other discussion amongst ourselves? Okay, and I will just say personally, again, I was skeptical. I didn't realize the movement of this and was not in favor of any additional packaged liquor stores, but based on what I've heard and what has been presented, it sounds as if this applicant is going to be very thorough in their liquor sales and checking IDs and making sure that nothing sketchy goes on around there. So, if there's no other discussion, I would call the question and ask if there is a motion to adopt the findings of fact and recommend approval of the special use permit for the liquor store located at 1059 East 9th Street to the City Council.
So moved.
Moved by Quinn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Giorgetti. Roll call vote, Kathy, when you have a chance.
You got it. Quinn,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Likens,
Yes?
Mycheck,
Yes.
O'Hare,
Yes.
Giorgetti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Kathy. And that will go to City Council on June 3rd. Committee of the Whole on June 3rd. Okay, that appears to cover all of our public hearings. So we will then move on to new business, which will include case 2026-006, which is a concept plan review to allow an automobile repair shop on Lot 4 of the Springs development, otherwise known as Bell Tire. So we will turn this over to staff.
Yeah, so we have the applicant, Chris Enright, and he is with Contour Land Group, and he is here on behalf of Bell Tire, seeking concept plan approval for a proposed 9,800 square foot standalone commercial building for auto repair. And this will be on the Springs Apartments development, and it'll be Lot 4 out, and that's an outlot. A little background, we have Contour Land Group, who is part of their planning. This is Lot 4 of the Springs. That's on the northeast corner of Edelman Road and 159th Street. The parcel is plus or minus 1.59 acres. It is currently zoned C3 highway commercial with a special use for planned development, and it is a vacant site at the moment. Current zoning, again, we have that C3 highway commercial. Behind it is R3 multiple family. Those are the Springs Apartments. And then directly to the west is an unincorporated parcel. Beyond that, we have additional commercial. So this is where we have Wendy's, and Mr. Car Wash is being built as well. And then on the other side, we have C3 highway commercial. And same with the south. The comprehensive plan calls for this site to be mixed use. So with the addition of these commercial outlots as well as the Springs Apartments, this would achieve the goal of mixed use. The site plan is before you. We have the building, which is 9,800 square feet. There will be approximately 45 parking spots. The lot connects to Continental Drive to the west with a shared entrance and exit point. There will be about 0.5 acres of open space with full landscaping around the parking lot. This lot is the easternmost along the Springs frontage. The location also aligns with the Lockport Square intersection across the street, a future signal and entry road to the larger parcels east of the site would exist to provide full access to existing and future development. As for the landscape plan, the development meets our standards. Again, this is a concept plan, so landscape plans aren't required to this detail. However, the applicant has gone and given us a very detailed landscape plan. There will be foundation planting alongside the building. The parking lot will be surrounded with a landscape buffer. Each parking island will have shade trees and live plant material, and then there will be turf around the building as well. And just a note for the grade on this site, the building will kind of be lower than what you would drive on 159th Street, so it will be slightly lowered, giving that more of a landscape buffer as well. As for architectural elevations, they exceed our standards for building materials. At a minimum, 84% of Class 1 materials will be used on each facade of the building. Class 1 materials would include brick, masonry, and glass storefronts. The building also uses Class 2 materials, and that would classify for the metal overhead doors and metal access doors. This is the south elevation. These would be all the service bays, and this is what you would see from 159th Street. This is the north elevation. This is what those driving past the Springs Apartments, going to the Springs Apartments, this is what they would see from their view. This is the west elevation, and that would be your main entrance to the building, and then the east elevation. Our recommended motion, should the commission find the proposed mixed-use residential and commercial development acceptable, the following motion is accepted. A motion to recommend approval of the concept plan for the Bell Tire development. This is just a concept plan. A special use permit for an auto repair shop will be forthcoming with final development plans. And because this is a special use permit to operate this type of business, it will be required that we have a major change to a planned development. So the Springs development will need to get a major change to accommodate this special use. It's currently not on the site. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you, Alyssa. Chris, would you like to add to Alyssa's presentation?
Sure. Thank you, Alyssa. Chris Enright on behalf of Contour Land Group in Belle Tire. As Lance can attest, we've been looking at this site in this area for some time now, and one of the challenges that we've been facing here at this location is, of course, the grading. So there's approximately 20 feet of fall from the southwest corner to the northeast corner. So that's been our challenge at this particular location. So we're looking to remove around 15,000 yards of dirt, and we've got retaining walls that are in excess of 10 feet on the interior wall facing the inside of the building, inside of the parking lot. You won't see that from the street. It'll actually be depressed from the street and much lower than the street itself in that southeast corner. So between the retaining wall and the dirt and the other improvements we have to make, we're looking at about $1 million of investment just to mitigating the issue with the grading. So, but with that, we actually also had proposed two drive access points to the building, one at the northwest corner and one at the south or the northeast corner. We removed the northeast corner access point for a couple of reasons, one of which is grading. So we got rid of the pavement that's there and we added in some landscape area, and we disconnected that piece. So we actually isolated the connection point at that one access point. So we're looking forward to moving forward in Lockport. Answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Commissioners?
I'll also note that they did submit a noise study, because that is always an important consideration with auto repair or any of the auto-related uses. That noise study, although it would certainly be provided to you as a part of their final development plans and the major change to the special use permit, just as a precursor to that, because all of their doors are on the south side of the facility and they have a 10-foot retaining wall on the south side of the facility, the noise is all mitigated. So any noise that would be going to the apartments to the north is relatively minimal beyond what it already is from the noise of 159th Street. So roughly speaking, the existing noise of 159th Street is like at 71 or 72 decibels. Along the south face of the building, that's just the existing noise, but the potential noise because of any of the interior things is roughly right at 60, which is our maximum for that. So they aren't adding any noise above and beyond what is already there from 159th Street.
Okay. Commissioners?
I have one question. Obviously, our hours of operation are during the day, but if somebody has a blowout in the middle of the night, do you allow cars to get towed to your facility in the middle of the night? And how does that work?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I apologize.
Yeah, do you allow vehicles to get towed to the tires if they have a blowout in the middle of the night? So are the tow trucks coming in the middle of the night with their lights on and, with the apartments and?
Yeah, that question hasn't been asked of us before in terms of delivering a vehicle at night. But when those events do occur, the vehicles will be towed to the property. Bell does not have any tow vehicles themselves. It's all done privately or separately. We don't actually transport any of the vehicles to the property. So if that does come onto the property, then that's done without typically our knowledge or actually our control.
This is not an auto body shop. This is auto repair, correct? So difference.
It should be minimal, but somebody has a blowout and, yeah, I'm just thinking about if it could or whatever happen, and there's probably a small chance, but that's.
Yeah, the repairs that are done are all related to basically to brakes, shocks, things of that nature, to selling the wheels, alignments, or not wheels so much as tires and alignments. There's no major engine repair or anything of that nature. It's all minor.
Okay.
So the majority of cars being brought there probably during working hours? So hopefully
is
not what Commissioner Giorgetti has presented?
It's not, it does happen where vehicles have to be towed. Typically, if cars need service after hours, occasionally they're dropped off at night and with a drop box, but the majority of the vehicles brought in during the course of the day to work on. And there's actually, a lot of the work now is done by appointment. So sometimes it takes several days for them to actually get to an actual vehicle. So that is the typical business model.
Okay.
I
Did I
have
answer your question,
Yeah,
Commissioner?
thank you.
a question for staff, if I may. Lance, tell me if this is outside of our purview, but with such a high retaining wall that we have there, is there any kind of barrier protection from, whether it be cars sliding across an icy road, making that turn, or, people walking errantly and kind of falling down a 10-foot retaining wall? Is there anything that's going to be there that's going to be required?
So that's actually an interesting question, only because we're looking at this all the way down 159th Street. Some of you may have seen the Facebook post recently that the work on 159th Street is going to be starting in the next week or two. That is a full resurfacing all the way from Robson Road, which is right around Coombs, but on the north side, actually, Oasis Restaurant, that's where Robson is. It's going to go from there all the way east towards 355, just to do a full resurfacing. As a part of that work, they're going to be removing the crash barriers that are on the north side of 159th Street. And the reason is because those crash barriers, when you hit the curb, based on crash analysis, you would actually jump the barrier. And so those barriers, because of the distance to the next obstacle or next drop is so distant, those barriers are not required. And so those are going to be removed as that project continues on down the road. So say in front of the Wendy's, there's some old barrier there that will be removed. There is a little bit of barrier up in front of the Mr. Car Wash that will be removed as well. And there will not be any crash barriers in front of Bell Tire as well, although I do think you have a fall protection on top of the wall. So they will have a fence up there, but it's not going to be vehicle rated.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions, commissioners?
Could I see the elevation from the springs again, please?
This will be what the spring sees.
Okay.
So all the bays will be facing 159th on the opposite side.
Okay. It'd be nice if this elevation could be livened up a little bit and not feel so back of house necessarily. But that's really the only thing, is it seems a little blank for facing the apartments there.
Are those light fixtures on those pilasters? Looks like.
Yeah, they're sconces. It's downcast light. It's just a wall washing sconce.
Okay. I have two questions regarding the building. The last page of the submittal has a rendering that is a view, I think, from 159th Street, the one on the bottom. And I would ask, where will all of the mechanical equipment be? Is there anything on the roof?
There is one mechanical unit, a rooftop unit on the building over the showroom. So there's a 4-foot high parapet that runs around the entire showroom. So the mechanical unit itself is downset and by the tower. So it's blocked by the high parapet of that wall.
Okay. I mean, as this is one of the first buildings you see when you drive into Lockport, after the really nice Lockport sign that's sitting there, I was hoping that there wasn't going to be a string of mechanical units across the top of that roof that would be at probably close to eye level when you come in, so.
We could certainly work with the applicant as we go through, if the concept plan is ultimately approved, we can certainly work with the applicant to maybe simply put a equipment screen on just the east side of it, because really you're starting to go downhill as you cross this location. So if it is on the west side covered by the taller parapet wall as well as the tower, there may be just a strategic location that may be beneficial for a utility screen that we could study with the perspective.
I'm pretty certain that we can do a video, actually, a rendition to show what it would look like actually from that elevation, from driving a vehicle from that direction, likely the other direction too, just to get an idea. And if it would take some sort of element to screen the RTU, that's not an issue. We're actually moving it by the tower, perhaps around the tower would be totally blocked. But we'll work with staff to make sure that nobody see that. And I understand completely what the comment is. You don't want to be looking at the
Gateway in.
driving by. Yeah, right, exactly.
Another question I have, on the south elevation where the bays are, is the repair area going to be air conditioned? And I would ask because, will all the doors be up when we're working, or they're going to be closed to keep cool air in or heat in when all the mechanics are working on cars?
Well, if we air condition it, we'd have a mechanical unit on the roof, which, we don't want to have, right? So.
That's what I'm asking. Or will all those repair bays, during the summer be open and coming into Lockport looking down and it's 10 work bays?
When we asked this question before, it said primarily the bay doors are closed, and they are working inside of closed bay doors, and the exhaust system and all the different things that they have to have are operational at that time. It's certainly something that we can work on with the applicant to refine that definition more to better identify for the Plan Commission and the City Council what that would actually, from an operational standpoint,
Okay.
look like.
I'm not to say, this is a nice looking auto repair building, for sure. Christian Brothers has a very nice one here as well. They happen to have a slightly different orientation, so it's not, head on, but just my comments anyway.
Yep.
Any other questions, commissioners? This is not a public hearing, but I would, out of courtesy, open this up if anyone from the public would like to come up and make a comment. You're free to do so, and if not, we will continue. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll request one condition on this, is that the approval would be good for 1 year.
Okay. Well, if there's no further discussion here amongst us, we're good. I would call the question and ask if there is a motion to recommend approval of the concept plans for the Bell Tire development for 1 year.
I'll make the motion to approve that for 1 year.
Motion by Giorgetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by O'Hare. Any further discussion? All right, I'm going to pass it to Kathy for a roll call vote.
Just 1 second, Kathy. I just want to make sure we clarify. The motion is to recommend approval of the concept plan with a condition that the approval is good for 1 year. Because you didn't say concept plan, so I just want to make sure that we
Yes,
get that in.
that was my intent,
Yeah.
yes, the concept plan.
Kathy, you good with that?
And I still second it.
Got it. Okay, Quinn.
No.
Calderon is absent, sorry. Peters?
Yes.
Likens?
Yes.
Mychek?
Yes.
O'Hare?
Yes.
Giorgetti?
Yes,
Motion passes.
Thank you, Kathy. And this will go before council June 3rd for review. Committee of Whole.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, that's our only new business item. I don't see any old business. Are there any citizens to be heard? The podium is open.
maybe just to maybe just to clarify, just for the audience, I'm guessing you're here for the cell phone tower case. That one got continued earlier in the meeting to our June 10th meeting because they did not have the public notice posted in time for that. Many people should have gotten a letter noting that fact. If you'd like to state it, you certainly can, or obviously welcome to come back at the June 10th meeting. June 10th. Okay. Okay.
Mike, would you like to further clarify? I apologize, I didn't give you the floor at the time I should have.
That's okay. We've discovered, as we're getting ready for this hearing, that the applicant did not get their signage, the public notice up in sufficient time. If we didn't open the hearing and then continue it, they would have had to do the publication and do everything all over again. The best practice when this happens, and this happened a couple of times before in the last year, is to open the hearing and then make a motion to continue it. And that was only done because the public notice was not proper. It's up to the chairman, but oftentimes when this happens, if you want to state some comments tonight, he could certainly ask that those be made part of the record for the public hearing. If some of you can't come back on June 10th, if you want to come for the actual public hearing itself, where the applicant will be here and the applicant will, be asked questions, et cetera, that's probably the better way to go. But if you can't be here on June 10th, you're certainly welcome, with the chairman's approval, to make your comments, and those can be made part of the record on June 10th.
And I would say that the public notice by state law goes to homes or properties that are within 250 feet of the property itself, so. Yes, and that's that.
But there's several components of what they have to do for public notice, and they missed one of them in time. And so when we discovered that, we said you can't have the hearing unless you meet all the legal requirements.
So the next commission meeting, when this case will be presented, will be the evening of June 10th, Wednesday, June 10th at 7 p.m. Okay? Come on up, state your name. Into the microphone so Kathy can hear you.
Alex Chrysler. I live at 620 East Division Street, so I'm like 250 feet away from it. My question is, how come it's only within only 250 feet, not the whole neighborhood that surrounds that park get notified? Because I asked my next door neighbor, he got no notification at all. So that's why I came tonight, is just to see what this was about or what's going on. But my concern is, how come the rest of the, around, the houses behind me or on the side of me did not get notified? Why is only selective people not being notified about this? I feel like the whole public that surrounds that park, because I got my baby girl that she's 13 months old, she goes there now, and people have concerns about it, should be made aware instead of 250 feet only. That's my only.
State law is what dictates the distance away, and so we follow the state statute. It's specifically for special use permits, but in order to be consistent with state law, we apply that to concept plans and a number of other things. So that's where that number comes from, and that's why we follow it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was just like,
Yeah.
No, good question.
May I add to that, Mr. Chairman? May I add to that?
Absolutely.
So, as Lance mentioned, yes, it's for 250 feet in state statute. The concept also is that everything this board does is put out an agenda in advance, is put on the city website. So there is notice to the community at whole, not just your neighborhood, but the law specifically requires the notice to be mailed to you if you're within 250 feet. In addition to all the posting of signs, putting it in the newspaper, and all the things that the applicant has to do.
okay, I'd never been to this meeting. I got this notification. I was like,
Right.
maybe I should go to this.
Yep.
All right,
And you're welcome to come anytime. We're once a month.
Participating, yeah.
We've only been here about 4 years, so we started a family and, just,
Glad you're here.
just come check it out. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Come on up. If you could just state your name.
My name is Arun, and I live about a block down, so we were not notified. But my question is, it's on school property. Are the children that go to that school, are their parents notified of this, that they're trying to build a cell phone tower on their school property?
So the actual lease agreement is with the school.
Okay.
So this isn't a city-initiated thing. It's not anything. AT&T has to negotiate with the school district
Okay.
in order to locate it on the school property. how they want to notify their parents or students or anything like that is really up to their school board.
Got it. So school board is the one that we should be probably concerned about. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
My understanding was they already had a meeting where they approved the lease, is my understanding, and they would have the same requirements that this board and our city council does as far as putting an agenda out, telling people that would be one of the items considered, but I believe that's already been addressed, if I'm
And
not
that
mistaken.
was, the original lease was approved by the school district back 3 years ago, I think. There were a number of issues. A representative from AT&T passed away, and it kind of went away for a while, and so now it's ultimately come back. But the actual lease is through the school district.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll be back in June. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Just come on up and state your name.
Michelle Angelski, I live on 803 Division. Based on that question, most of the research I've done in regards to cell phone towers, that the state and local communities have their own regulations in regards to how far away from school properties or schools are because of the fact that the health issues to children. So if this is actual school property, what are the laws? Do you know what the laws are? Do we have any here in our state or in our local government? Because I know most of them are within 500 to 1,000 feet.
Yeah,
The ones that I've researched.
Yeah, there
So
are.
it's a little concerning that the high school uses that for their gym classes every day that the weather's nice. So those are kids that are going to be affected, not to mention us who live there, but all these kids that go to that park would potentially be damaged by something, so someone can have a convenience of internet, wireless service. That's a really health and safety issue. So that's my concern. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, if there's any regulations that you have that need to be abided by.
We do not have anything for a utility structure or a cell tower related to distance. And again, I guess what I would say from a concern for the kids that are using the school's property, the school is the owner of the property, and they're the ones that have signed the lease.
In a lot of places, they took it out of the hands of those because of health safety. So as a community, as our city, you should be concerned about the health of our kids, right? So that's my concern.
Yeah, we don't have any rights over private property, and so we can't tell you not to build your house on your property if you're allowed to do that. Again,
The park is school property. It's not city property.
So yes, there is no city property there. The Park District owns Rotary Park, which is just the corner at Division and Garfield. The school district owns the rest of it.
Anybody else? Good? Okay. We will move to Chairman's report, and just again, as mentioned, I will be absent next month, and I believe Commissioner Mitchell will be as well. I think those are the only two that I know of. And Commissioner Peters will chair, and it appears we'll have a quorum. I don't have anything else. And I'll move to Commissioner's reports, and I would just offer the floor up to Commissioner O'Hare if there's anything you would like to say to.
I just want
yourself?
to say thank you, and I'm honored to sit on the Planning and Zoning Commission here in Lockport. A little bit about me. My wife and I have been married for 28 years. We've been living in Lockport for 21 years. Raised 3 boys here, got 22, 19, and 16. Been involved in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. I have an Eagle Scout here. I bowl over at Strike and Sparrow Monday nights in the Civics League, so it's a good time there. Very pleased with what the city's been doing with the downtown district and just the overall enhancements that have happened around the city, and I'm very pleased to be able to have a kind of a hand in that moving forward, and plan on being here for quite some time. So Appreciate it, thank you.
We're glad you're on board and that you read the meeting minutes. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
Any other commissioners' reports? Everybody good? Move to staff?
We are going to probably have our next public meeting for the Greater Downtown Master Plan in July. Haven't scheduled a specific date yet, but that is tentatively out there in July.
Very good, thank you. Alyssa, you good? Okay. Council, engineers?
Want to mention the town halls at all?
We'll let them,
Okay. Hearing nothing else, I would ask if there is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Quinn, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mietzek, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. And thank you, Kathy, back there.
You're welcome.